To get into some details now about what I just went through with Tina Maravich. We're shooting live. We're going to go through it step by step. I'll get Tina to look at the questions, comments, all that. I'm going to take some Q&A as we get her back and I get back because I got to work tomorrow. So everybody, there's the ICC, International Criminal Court. That case is going to go forward. Karim Khan requires resources people to give of themselves. Well, that's me. That's going to go. On the 28th, the day of genocide, that letter with a lot of these First Nations at Toronto's Native Family Social Services, where they take children today. It's not the federal government right now. Province by province, every provincial premier is administering the same type program per province. Treaty, non-treaty, seated, unseated. Doug Ford has 200 of these facilities. That was ground zero. What we're going to do, everybody, why I took a break from my ICC, why this was so important, because we're going to do what's going to happen to Justin Trudeau with ICC. Everybody has to realize education is a provincial power. Yes, First Nations under the Indian Act, all of that in the federal history. However, post-residential schools, every premier took full power of it. Doug Ford, now taxpayers, First Nations, everybody pay attention here, especially for what I call the boat people, which I will be doing every Sunday, the canoe people, boat people, truth of reconciliation as it really is. We're going to go through that too every Sunday. But take this as a little headliner. So here's the deal. Queen Elizabeth II has had nothing, and I repeat, nothing to do with Canada. You can go back 4 years to the very beginning of my timeline, the rough road I was in on Facebook. And you can look up and find my lawsuit against Queen Elizabeth II, successfully launched in the province of Alberta at the highest court of the province of Alberta against none other than Queen Elizabeth II. Guess who was forced to step in? Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. In fact, because Queen Elizabeth can never be served and she can't enter into Canadian politics or any governance of Canada, it was Bill Morneau who was served, pulled out of Parliament, served. He immediately, while removed from Parliament, went and hired Prairie Law Firm in Alberta to represent the Crown, which was Finance Minister Bill Morneau. Now I'm going to prove for all First Nations and Canadian taxpayers for $3, meaning I'm not going to hurt any of you. My $3, the cost of $3, in the highest court of Ontario, Queen Elizabeth cannot be sued for the residential school up to the provincial power of Native social services. Unfortunately, there's no Native about it. It's all Doug Ford and his ministry. Absolutely. Which means Doug Ford has to bring forward the Deputy Attorney General of Ontario. How would I know this unless I know absolutely international law? And I also know it's going to make Doug Ford come forward and bring his Deputy Attorney General. Fact, not fiction. How is it I sue for First Nations in Ontario on the provincial crown power that's supposed to be Queen Elizabeth II? How come she can't be served or enter Canada to respond, but yet Doug Ford assumes the role, and in fact his Deputy Attorney General will? That's what I'm doing. Exhibit 721 in my ICC case, International Criminal Court. It will become Doug Ford's drag queen, Queen Elizabeth II, Exhibit 721. Justin Trudeau's there too. Many politicians are. I can go back through all the history. I'm very good at it. I've been collecting this for years. I'm going to destroy the fiction that's been presented to First Nations and Canadians across Canada, in every province, in every territory, and every federal government, since all the way through to now. Thank you. That's my video. Everybody, multiple things going on. This was an opportunity I couldn't miss, because again, for ICC, CARIMCON's not going to have to do the work. We're going to provide the exhibit in real first person for the First Nations and for all of you Canadian taxpayers at my cost of my labor and $3. I'm going to show you all the truth. Thank you.